I do feel it's a blessed time, so I'm very thankful. Today we had a great day. We got free chili lunch, hot dogs at church. Me and my grandma, they had a chili cook-off. And so we got free lunch, we got a free coffee and tea because they have a free cafe and stuff. They're very generous. It's like a super small church, but they're super generous. It's like all elderly people. It's so cute. But I mean, not all, but many. And then afterward we had omochi. I did like the Chinese sesame balls. They're like balls of omochi, and then they fry them and have sesame seeds on them. So my grandma loved them. I filmed so much that probably will not come out for like a couple of years because I'm doing all my daily vlogs, editing those like for in like I have so much that they're gonna come out in like 3 years. But she was telling me all about how to make omochi and this and that, and and her mother was a midwife in Japan in the 1930s and 1940s when she was like 5 years old. She remembers because that she was like that had to be before my mom, the war, before my mom left, and she had to live with her grandparents, and her mom used to take her around and help the neighbors when they would call her when they were ready to give birth, and her mother would help be like kind of birth the children, be a midwife. And my grandma remembers being like 5 years old and remembering so vividly. And so she has so many wonderful memories that I've interviewed her with this same laptop MacBook that I will release one day in a couple of years when I go through all the footage. But yeah, so today I interviewed her there, and then at church, also before that, at church, this pastor, former pastor, he's a retired pastor now, and he's one of the members, and he's also like he teaches and stuff at like a university, does classes on Zoom, and is perhaps going to be an interim pastor as well now, like this year. But anyway, he's retired for the most part, sort of. He gave me his book. I got his dissertation, or no, he's going to give me his dissertation soon. But I got his other book called Hall of Faith that he published as well. That was about Hebrews, the book of Hebrews, and different heroes of the faith that he made a devotional commentary on. And this one is a biography on Titus Coan, okay? Apostle to the Sandwich Islands, so he is one of the prominent missionaries, Protestant missionaries to Hawaii. And who I know is my auntie would tell me about Brother Lawrence. He is a Catholic missionary to the lepers in Hawaii. So there was like an island or a colony of lepers in Hawaii. And a Catholic missionary, Brother Lawrence, is very famous and beloved by all the Hawaiian people for the most part. Like generally he's I don't think there's anything negative with him, but like he's very beloved because he helped minister to the lepers in Hawaii. But anyway, this is one of the Protestant missionaries. Now, the reason why he wrote, this Pastor Phil, he wrote about him is that this guy just intrigued him, his life and his biography. I think his name kept coming up when he was writing his, I believe, dissertation, which is called Field of the World. The field is the world, basically. Like, it's about, like, I think, missionaries going throughout the world or something like that. I don't know yet because I hadn't read it, but something like that, or he was doing research for an article or something. And anyway, he came across this guy who is a Protestant missionary, and sometimes the missionaries get a bad rep because the missionaries and the colonists, which I also kind of thought, and I think there is truth to everything. There's complex truth in everything, that they gave diseases to the Hawaiian people, and also just took their land or whatnot. But he said he went to Hawaii, or he saw a documentary or something, and the Hawaiian people had a positive view of the missionaries, and so he wanted to kind of delve into that positive view that they had. And actually he mentioned some Hawaiian pastors. They have like Hawaiian names, so I know they're locals, and I think Hawaiian blood, who either helped him with this commentary, or provided, because many people were provided documents and letters and records and historical things and whatnot for the making of this book when he was writing this biography. and kind of creating like a fuller picture, painting a fuller picture of this man's life. Now I haven't read it yet, so I was thinking maybe I'll do a series when I read each chapter on like a book review, because I have so many books in my bookcase and my bookshelf that are my favorite books. And like I've been wanting to do like a book review channel sort of, because I have certain books that I just absolutely love, that I would want to, that I could talk about for so much, just for days, because of the insights that they've given me, or like the understandings, or the beautiful like humanity and all of these things. So I've been wanting to do a book review on various books that I really love, but it's a lot to do. But now that I have this book that he requested also that I, share my thoughts as I read it, once he found out my family's from Hawaii and stuff, so I said, okay, so I read the preface and the part of the introduction and the acknowledgments today while I was at the gym, just working on the treadmill. After I saw my grandma, I came home and then I went to the gym and read this. So now it's literally just right after here, I'm telling you about it. One thing that he mentions in the acknowledgments or in the preface, is to, when reading this book, because he did keep some first person, obviously some quotations and some quotes and letters that this person, Titus Coan, wrote and stuff, and he also uses terms like savages or something, native, I don't something, he uses various terms for Hawaii and the Hawaiian people, but he said, when reading this, please, give understanding for the context of the time, the historical context of the time, and while reading, judge with the judgment that you would like someone in the future to judge you, because maybe in the future there are different terms or whatnot that we would not want to be judged negatively with or something. Because even the subtitle, Apostle to the Sandwich Islands, which I found he wrote was it was one of the titles that I think the New York Times or something of the day gave this man, Titus Coan, Apostle to the Sandwich Islands, when they did a little blurb on him, an article on him or something, back in the day. So that's, I think, where this came from. I was like, I like when Hawaii is called Hawaii, because that's their name for their land, But I'm taking it, like he said, with as it was back in the day called, and how they reference it. And also, I think what also encouraged me is that a lot of local pastors now, he said, were really thankful for this book. Not only did they help him write this book, and also I think it's just they all know that was that's the historical writing names. And I don't know if that's offensive to Hawaiian people either. Actually, that's just my, or whatever. But I don't know, because sometimes people not of a culture can be can be more offended than people actually, local people of a culture. You know what I mean? Because even anyway. So that's one thing. I will say. But anyway, that's just my notes and stuff and asides. But gosh, I was gonna say something else. Oh yes, but the local pastors did, when they, I think, read this or saw this, that a biography had been written on this guy, they were thankful for him too, because one of the reasons for him writing this was he hoped for another awakening or another revival or something on the Hawaiian Islands, because he helped to do the Hawaii's Great Awakening or something in the 1830s, where there was a surge of sharing the gospel on the islands. And Hawaii in general is kind of has a lot of Christianity, as well as a lot of Mormons, and a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses too, or something like that. My family has told me. But anyway, so just I don't know, just saying. But anyway, yes. So also, I think he was telling me, and also all the people who wrote quotes and stuff, and like I said, I could tell they're Hawaiian people or local people, because they have Hawaiian names, as well as I guess Portuguese, Japanese, and different, Hawaiian names and stuff like that. And not that matters, but just that they did appreciate this book as well. Um, and so and he even told me, oh, if you go to Hawaii, I have like, some pastor friends that I can introduce you to some churches, because one of my dreams is to go live in Hawaii and go to church there, local church, and, a church there, a random church there. And also, I would want to, another dream of mine is to, I have another dream that one day, if it comes true and it relates to Hawaii, and my relationship with Jesus, if that comes true, it'll come true. And I'll be like referencing this video maybe, or like if I don't delete this video. But yeah, so that was interesting. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this, and then he signed it, which was super sweet. So thank you, Pastor Phil. I gotta say, I will try to read this and do a commentary series on this. But like most of my day was just me with my grandma recording and interviewing her, and just like talking, and so much that I want to, like I said, share in a few years when I'm able to get through all the footage that I have. Just like recording all the oral histories of my family's back in the day, my family members' family's histories back in the day, because it's so fascinating. My grandma had such a fascinating life, like just living in Japan, and my other grandma living in Hawaii, who's in heaven right now. Just they have so many. She was on the plantations, the Hawaiian plantations, which is very like iconically historical, just experience too as well, or historically iconic experience as well. Excuse me. And so I want to like, they're so valuable. So anyway, I have lots of interviews with my grandma that I would love to have on my channel eventually, as well as, like I said, maybe I'll do book reviews of my favorite books, but also just like in real time kind of reviews on my thoughts of every, section and whatnot. And then I'm very thankful and honored to be able to read this. So I do want to say thank you, and I don't want to criticize anything, because I'm just like a young person, not, I don't want to like be freaking know-it-all or whatnot when it comes to my opinions and this and that. Now that, or judgments, I should say, judgments, criticisms, and things like that. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, I appreciate this, But yes, I'm just mentioning some things that I noticed that I read so far in the acknowledgments and the preface that I appreciated as well, that he addresses. I do appreciate that he addresses, hey, some of these terms are outdated and can be, offensive or whatnot, but, just try to, the heart of this man, he really did like love the Hawaiian people and stuff. And also it's just kind of a testament how many people nowadays to local Hawaiian people or pastors and local pastors do, like, they appreciated this book and whatnot. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's a book to read later, and maybe give some reviews. It might be a slow time for me because it's like kind of a big book, but the other thing was that in the preface or the introduction, I haven't read the whole introduction yet, because I was, like I said, I was reading it while I was on the treadmill and stuff, and I was I finished, like, it only lets you do like 60 minutes, and then you have to restart, so I could have restarted, but I was like, 60 minutes of just like slow walking is good enough is great for me. But anyway, he said when he was getting like feedback from his friends and also help and insight and whatnot, one of his friends was like, who's another, I think, scholar or professor or pastor or something, said like, well, when you're writing the autobiography or the biography, excuse me, try to figure out, like, as you're writing, to help you, I guess, organize and narrate and all of that. Think in mind how you want, and stylistically, how you want to write this, like, for who the audience is, whether it's for like an average reader, an everyday reader, for leisure or fun or interest in biographies or interest in Hawaii and or loves the gospel or whatnot, or if it's for scholars, and like for maybe people getting their Masters of Divinity, I don't know, or you know what I mean, or just scholars in Hawaii or something. And he decided, like, well, I'm gonna write it for both scholars and like layman's terms, like everyday people. And so it's both for the edification of people, of the everyday reader, of like, just building up the faith, by being inspired and being encouraged by this person and learning from this person's, like, insights, mistakes, and life, whatever. But also, like, for, like, I guess, encouragement of, like, future scholars of, the church and also Hawaii, and I don't know, whatever. So we'll see. But anyway, I did like that he decided not to choose. He was like, I'm gonna write it for both readers, both types of readers, and and make a full picture, build a full picture of this person's life. Now, like I said, I was not familiar with this person at all. Obviously, I don't think he's that famous or well known, perhaps, but it kind of obscure. But like, I do, or maybe he is well known, but within like Hawaii and like the church history there, I'm not sure. I didn't know about him, but obviously he has his own like foundation and family members and a lot of records and stuff. So he was like a prominent guy. So yeah. So anyway, I'm excited to read it. But yeah, that's what happened today, and I hope everybody has a good day. Like I said, there's so much that goes on in my life, like that's like just so like 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 intimate with my life, but I don't, I mean, I obviously I'm just not sharing everything. So gosh, I wonder how I can for my YouTube channel, now that he was thinking about his audience, how I can kind of to what extent I should share certain things, and to what extent is productive and healthy and good and all of that, and how to also, like, just how to share in the most digestible way to an audience as well, and all of these things. So I really do appreciate this, Pastor Phil. Thank you. I appreciate this. He's also going to have a YouTube eventually about his like sermons or messages, I think. So that's going to be in a few months, I don't know, or month, I don't know, a few weeks, or, I don't know, days, I don't know. But, yeah, so we'll go through this, and I hope everyone's having a good day. We're going to continue. I think I only have, oh gosh, I'm so, 31, yes, 8 days. I'm so sorry. 8 days. Math is not my strong suit. No, I literally had to add rather than subtract. No, just kidding. No, we are getting better and better every day at math. But yes, no, I think 8 days or something left of this. So these daily vlogs, and we'll see how they go. But so far, that's kind of this accountability and like just the practice of speaking, and all of these things are helping me. So hope everyone has a good day and a beautiful night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.